Have you ever walked into an art gallery looking for some artwork for your house or your business and been shocked by the prices? I know I have. How much money do you think the artist makes on each of these pieces? 90%? 80%? The reality is they usually make about 50% of the sale price of the art piece. So what's the problem here? The price of purchasing artwork for people and businesses, empty wall space in homes, offices, and developments, an income stream for artists, and exposure for up-and-coming artists. So what are our target customers? The first part are artists themselves. The second part are end consumers, such as residential places, businesses and office spaces, and home stagers. So what's the solution? We've created an online platform that connects up-and-coming artists to individuals and businesses looking for artwork for their home or business. The artwork is for rent, it helps artists make money, and it provides them a platform for exposure. So here's a kind of a look at what that platform might look like. It's a website for now that people can search for paintings, photography, prints, and whatnot. You can also look at a collection that the artists upload themselves. And then you can review the artist. The artist can review the customer that rents or purchases their artwork, or the customer can review the artist of the experience that they had. So how do we make money on this? First off, we charge a listing fee of 50 cents per art piece that the artist uploads. Secondly, we charge a transaction fee. So if a customer decides to rent the art piece, we take 50% of that rental price per month. If a customer buys it, we take 10% of that sales price. In addition, we're making art affordable and topical. So people have the chance to build art equity. So for every dollar that they spend renting that piece of art, they get $1 credit that can be used for purchasing that art at the end of that. So for example, if someone rents a piece of art for $20 a month for 6 months, and they decide to buy it at the end of that, the artist's revenue turns out to be $627 versus $375 that they make in a gallery sale, so they only make 50% of that. And then we, with our charges that we have, would make $123 at the end of that.
So in market validation, we've gone ahead this weekend and we've talked to multiple people throughout the Addison area. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Some of the feedback that we've received has been from real estate agents, very positive there in that area. We've been told things like, now they want the real estate market, people are willing to spend ridiculous amounts of money there. We've also talked to local businesses who seem to be very interested, and then everyday consumers with homes like you and I have talked about, have expressed interest. Initially, we've gotten a lot of mixed reviews there, but once people hear, once they're exposed to the rental, they get a lot of mixed reviews. But once we tell them that they have the potential to buy that art piece, a lot of people's perception shifts and changes, and they seem to be a lot more open to the idea. The current market size in our city, we estimate that there are about 1,015 artists in the area. We've also gone ahead and Google Analytics, we found that there have been about 10,000 searches for the term art rental on Google this last year alone. Early adopters, such as influential people and influential businesses that have already expressed interest. We would also go ahead and target events such as Chamber of Commerce, real estate group meetings, which we've already been invited to, art festivals, and other community events. Here you could go ahead and take a look at some of the competitive landscape right now in this area. The first two, there's Mora ourselves, and then there is Turning Point, who we feel is the strongest competitor. They do offer a rental option for art. They also offer multiple services that we do not, such as curating and installation. However, we found that artists tend to be very protective over their art and would prefer to be a part of the process, of the installation process, which we would offer through our platform. Some of the competitive advantages that we have, the fact that it's localized, we offer a rent-to-buy service, and we directly connect the artists with the consumers themselves. So the next step, so the next 30 days, we plan on doing additional market research with businesses. We plan on getting commitment from artists themselves to see if they would use the platform. Then we would go ahead and start building a website. Over the next 60 days, we would then find customers to participate in a trial period of the concept, and then we would do a pre-launch of the full website. Eventually, after that, we would go ahead and launch the website officially and create a mobile-friendly website or app, and then continue doing marketing and marketing adoption. Here's our team, the wonderful Liz, the wonderful Ching Hong Leon, and myself. Thank you.
what they were telling you?
So it was a little bit difficult doing customer discovery in businesses because the people we wanted to talk to were all closed on the weekend. So we did our best to do direct outreach. What we found was we were able to contact like realtors and kind of developers a little bit more, and they all seemed very interested in the concept, but we still want to reach out to offices like accounting firms or architecture firms. We did talk to someone who worked at Steinway Orthopedic Clinic, and he thought it'd be a really great idea. But we want to continue that, which is why we put under our 30-day kind of goals.
We also talked to younger professional companies. They seem to be very interested in the concept, especially they want to set an atmosphere, right? An atmosphere that's constantly changing and something that people look at in a very creative way.
Yeah, we talked to Josh from Sculpt. He was saying that they couldn't really find artwork for their office, and they had their employees create artwork, which was really time-consuming. But he thought this was a great idea. You could just rent it out with the potential to buy it again.
Another potential market that we've also considered are something like event planners, where they need art, but they don't want to store all of this art long term. No one wants to have to deal with that hassle. So through our platform, they would be able to rent it for a few days and then return it back to us.
I have a question. So in this platform, the artist is responsible for setting what they feel like is a fair price for that art, and then would be responsible for shipping it to and from the end user, is that correct?
Yep. So because
No, it's fine.
because they are local, so the delivery would be delivered by them and installed by them. So that they would oversee the installation or they would install it themselves while the owner is on location, and they would agree that the piece of art is installed correctly for the artist making or for the owner.
When
So
we were
it's meant to be a hyper, like, connecting the
Yeah,
local
hyper-local.
artists to, okay.
Yeah, when we were talking to artists, we actually did a lot of market research with artists. They all expressed that they would really want to choose their own prices because we asked them that. Because, like, I don't know, originally we thought we would choose like different tiers of different kind of quality of art, but they felt very strongly about that. They were able to distinguish that, and that they'd like to kind of have a piece of that installation and whatnot if possible. We'd look at that maybe a bit further down the road of like if we wanted people outside of our space to like be able to run it, doing shipping, but this is just a little bit riskier.
Any other questions?
I have another question. So I think I would probably be one of the end users that you're talking about, you were just residential.
Sure.
How many people were you able to talk to in that?
Probably about 20 some.
Yeah, so we had 12 survey responses and put out a survey online, and then we think we got around maybe 12 to 15 just out and about. We kind of approached people on the Penn Mall to talk to them, so about 30 total, I would say.
Did any of them express interest because they got bored with art in the room?
Hi everyone, my name is Ryan Falls.
My name is Mo Bader and our company is Egg Finder. So this is Bill and he's a 58-year-old farmer out in western Iowa. And over the last 50 years, farming has really changed with the advancement in like equipment, seed production, new technology, things that exist today that didn't exist 20 years ago. And for him, who's an older demographic farmer, it's kind of overwhelming to him and more complex for him. And so the problem that we're kind of facing is there's all these niche focuses and all these niche technologies that go into farming, and the average farmer doesn't have those expertise to get all that work done. And so what we want to do is we want to bridge the gap between the farmer and all these niche resources. And so what we want to develop is a sharing economy type platform which will connect farmers with these specialized resources to help them operate their farm more effectively. And so examples of this would be just like freelancers that might have technology expertise in maybe drones or GIS, or maybe it's somebody who has expertise as a crop advisor, or maybe someone who owns a semi-truck that's willing to help farmers in that way. So currently there's not competition out there that has some type of solution similar to this, but how farmers like kind of solve this today is they might go out word of mouth and like pitch this or to get this and network with like their local community. So how our platform works is a farmer will create resources that I can pull from. Another example is a farmer will be able to submit a bid in which they say, I need this job done on my farm. I might need it done on this date, and I'm willing to pay this much for it. On the flip side, we want to allow freelancers to have these niche skills, but to showcase their expertise and their experiences and promote themselves, but then also get notifications from the farmers when they have jobs available. Ways in which we believe we can create money is through commissions based on the brokerage system of the sharing economy, and then also through advertisements of new technologies and new egg businesses. We are going to market to about 800 farms in the Corn Belt region in the Midwest.
So our main source of revenue is going to be commissions. We're kind of following like a freelancing website type model. So following from that, a typical website will charge about 5% of a commission. So we did some research. We looked at the ISU Extension website, and found a typical rate for a job like this is about $40 an hour. So that gives us a typical commission of about $16 per gig. So we forecasted a range about 25,000 to 100,000 gigs. And at the low end there, that gives us about $400,000, which will allow us to sustain the business and invest some in growth. At the high end there, that's $1.6 million, which will allow us to hire more people and aggressively invest in growth. So our go-to-market strategy, the main component of this is that we're going to go to farm shows and we're going to network with people. We're going to find some farmers, we're going to spread the word about our business, and we're really going to partner with them and have them help shape the future of our business and find out, the features that they need and stuff. So we're also going to go to universities and trade schools. That's going to allow us to really fill out the workers on our platform. And then we're going to partner with agriculture organizations to just help us advertise and spread the word of our product. So once again, my name is Ryan. I'm a computer scientist by trade. My expertise is cloud systems and web application development. So I'm going to be the one to kind of build out the app.
And I'm Bo, and I have a background in accounting and business. I actually grew up on a farm and kind of have the knowledge of that landscape. And we want to thank everybody for the great weekend, and we're open to any questions.
So what led you to consider this problem opportunity and talk a little bit about customer discovery?
So that was one of the problems we've faced, is just being able to get a ton of customer discovery. So we've had kind of a more bias. I was the one that kind of addressed this kind of a problem, coming from a farm background, and just seeing the amount of or how in the farming community there's so much complexity that comes about in the daily operation. And as farmers become to get older and things become to get more advanced with technology, just being able to see how can we connect all these resources together.
I have a question. So the farmers I know tend to have either no internet at their farm or are older. So would you say that you're targeting within that demographic, newer farmers coming up through the ISU programs or something? How are you going to?
So actually, 75% of farmers actually have connectivity to the internet, but only about 39 or 38% actually use the internet for their farming operations. So there's that gap between using it and having it. And so we talked a little bit about targeting someone like ISU, they have college, or they have those kids that are studying those new technologies that would have that expertise and would be able to showcase their skills to the farmers.
So moving forward, how will you use customer discovery?
I guess one big area is just getting out to farm shows or trade shows. That's where you can just get a mass amount of customers out there, and you can knock out a ton of validations and assumptions that you might have. So that's the main area that we would need to focus in on.
So these resources, you've talked about technology, but you've also talked about hauling freight.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the
or it's just like another benefit or another avenue that needs to be looked at from the, or just like another, I guess, operation that needs to be taken care of on the farm. I guess there's not necessarily a correlation between the two. It's just somebody's got to do it, whether the farmer wants to do it or if there might be other people who would do it. We've also looked into like the capacity perspective where there might be people who own semis who could do it quicker or more effectively compared to a farmer who might only have a tractor. So just looking at it from that aspect as well.
How about the flip side? How do you find, like,
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Valeria.
And I'm Emily.
And we are actually producing virgin agricultural products. So this is actually a 16-year-old girl in my neighborhood in Ghana. After became a teenage mother at this younger age when she was going to get water for the family one evening. She was raped and after the long she became a single mother. After her school dropout, with no employable skills, hence rendering her unemployed. This is the story of over 4 million other young women in Ghana. However, in Nigeria, this is Mr. Rafael's farm. Mr. Rafael is finding it difficult to find the skilled labor for his job. He is into integrated farming, but he does a lot of farming, and it is difficult matching skilled farmers, workers for his job. And that is the story of 30 other million small-scale farmers in Nigeria.
Well, some see this as a problem. We at Agri Solutions saw this as an opportunity. Over the weekend, we've spoken to 21 small farmers in Nigeria and Iowa, and almost all of them had trouble finding the workers, training the skills they need to operate a modern farm. We also spoke to 5 single mothers in Ghana who told us that they lack the training to work on the farms that need these more specialized skills in the past. So, Agri Solutions connects the two. We provide women like Atu with the training and skills she needs to work on the more advanced farms in her own community, bridging her skills gap. Meet the needs of farmers like Mr. Rufai, who need the skilled laborers. To make money, we're a social benefit corporation. We bring in upfront consulting fees from the farmer to help us cover the cost of catering the course and building the instructors. We charge youths in the community, people interested but who aren't young mothers, $15 per course, USD. And then we collect 10 to 15% of the salary paid by the farmers to workers, not only during the course to help make sure the women can support their families, but also for a year following to help connect them to job opportunities. Our MVP is an application for farmers and students, making sure the students have the interest and transportation to meet the skills needed by the farmers, and the farmers have a budget to cover the needs of the students. And for going to market, we're already in talks with 6 small farmers in Nigeria with personal connections. We'll be connecting them with courses in agribusiness management, machinery operation, for which you have a sample syllabus in front of you, and pest control, 3 areas of expertise on our team. We'll be working with existing relationships that our members already have in these communities to work with local influencers to reach 25 women for a 3-month test pilot. In the future, we'll be using social media to expand our reach. Key partners include agricultural research institutes, central banks, and major agricultural buyers. And for more information on our offerings, you do have a little leaflet in front of you.
So our competitive analysis is this. We are not the only ones doing this. However, at Agri Solutions, we are not only going to train you, but we are going to link these trained ladies and other young people to the farmers and work available and even to financial assistance. And then we are going a step further to watch them along the way by coaching and then mentoring them to make sure they succeed in their goals. Our team is made up of 3 agricultural experts with Valeria from Ghana in agro-processing education, Giz from Nigeria in agribusiness consultancy, and then we have Emily from US, who is an economics specialist, and then we have Samira from Nigeria, an agri-tech assistant specialist. So, come join us as Agri by giving her an opportunity to feed her family and herself, and then providing prosperity to Mr. Rapper. Thank you.
Team join and the judges have 3 minutes.
How do you determine what the skills are that are needed? Are you asking the farmer for what the gaps are that you see, or how would you decide which courses you should?
Okay, we ask the farmers what's in. Yes, that's how it's done. The skill that they want. So the farmers know their needs on the farm. So they reach out to us and then tell us what they want. And then we can try.
So then who does the teaching and the training?
And then we'll partner with other agri institutions from the various countries.
Yes.
By the research.
With the network that we have so far. Yes.
And so would this involve, talk about how you get the people to the various places they're going to be working, and where the training is, and that type of
I
thing?
do provide transportation as part of our fee. At least initially, women don't always have access to the car to taxi if they need to go. So that's part of our fee.
Yeah, that's why we need to charge them 12%, 10% from their year, 1 year monthly payments. Then after the next year, they are able to take it themselves.
And in addition to that, most of the trainings are going to be mobile trainings, but we go to their communities to provide the training to them so they don't have to spend the whole time.
When you were doing customer discovery with the women, what did you hear from them as to how comfortable they would be with this type of situation?
Okay, so we try to find out from them. These are women with no skills so far, and then we try to find what they'll be doing is by rating them what they like to do most in their comfort zones, whether they are indoors or outdoor persons, and then based on that we can know the type of training to give them, whether to be on the technology side or to be on the field.
What will you need financially to start something like this? Do you have to have equipment to train people on? Will you use, how do you get this going?
We need to about investment to provide a salary for the teachers to get similar on-the-ground relationships, but honestly, we'll also have to figure out the curriculum we want to use. But that is not a very revenue-intensive business model. We hire staff members that we go into community who are already specialized in these skills.
In addition to that, we also need, like, there's going to be teaching women technical skills, so just such as if they want to do farm testing. So a farmer needs for people to come and test what they have, their soil testing. So we're going to buy like precision farming devices. So we'll have for each of the women, and so those kind of devices will have to be.
What about childcare?
Okay, yeah, so we got all this. So we have since women at this day. So because of that.
And we'll start the 5 minutes.
Hi. Hello, my name is Thomas Kagan. I'm a computer scientist at the University of Minnesota.
And I'm Tara Bendre. I'm a marketing student who just graduated UI.
And
Oh, and I'm an entrepreneur.
this is Handshake. Handshake is a platform for freelancers to get paid on time, every time. Freelancing is a growing market, and America is increasingly relying on the creativity of independent small entities to create our designs that you see everywhere. From big to small, every company relies on freelancers, and our target market for our company is independent web and design freelancers. However, we could also target farmers as well. Here's a little anecdote about my freelancing experience. Okay, as soon as I graduated high school, my vice principal in my high school approached me saying, "Oh, I got this cool idea. You could make a scheduling system for students so that they could self-schedule and go to whatever homeroom they want during free period." And I call my scheduling system our Buddy for River Falls. And I spent so many hours on this project. I spent 500 hours working really closely with the vice principal. But as soon as it was done and I brought it to the principal, he was like, nah, well, I don't want a project from a student. And that was really disappointing, but it shows an instance where I had the technical prerequisite knowledge, but not the business prerequisite knowledge to set myself up for success. And I'm not alone. Step back, forward. 50% of freelancers report having problems receiving payments on time. We interviewed 9 freelancers, and all of them said that they had to haggle and chase down their clients to get paid on time. Forbes reports that it takes 18 days or more on average after a payment is due to actually get paid for your freelance work. We solved this with Handshake. This is our value proposition.
Yeah, so Handshake solves this problem by providing security to the freelancers to ensure that they get paid once both parties okay that the project is completed. And we do this by taking on the risk and also making it our responsibility to get that money from these freelancers' clients. We also help freelancers and companies keep track of their project with timelines, revisions, and costs through our online tools.
So Handshake offers 4 key services that distinguish it from its competitors. Right? First, we have pay on time, so that if freelancers get paid no matter what on time, and we take on the debt from other companies if they choose not to pay on time. We have flex pay, so that freelancers can have whatever payment system, timeline that they would want, milestones to keep track of all the charges on invoices so that companies are really sure about what they're paying for, and pay promotions so as to incentivize companies to pay on time and reward them with media promotions.
So our process is pretty simple. So the freelancer secures their client, and then the 2 parties discuss the project scope, the requirements, and respective milestones. The freelancer then directs their client to the Handshake platform, and the client sends us an escrow securement to our platform. The freelancer then works on their project and checks off the respective milestones that them and their client previously discussed. Once the project is done, the freelancer and the customer both confirm the project completion, and the freelancer gets paid as soon as that happens. And then I wanted to say that we would take a 4% commission of their payment, so that's how we would be making our money there. Oh, thank you. So I just wanted to mention that as for our competitive landscape, there are multiple project management websites and software that freelancers do use and have the option of using. There are also some escrow sites that a freelancer or any company could use. However, we are the only solution where we ensure the freelancer gets paid on time and every time. Here's our go-to-market strategy. We do have a network. We know a lot of freelancers who are definitely in this room, so we would definitely utilize our strategy, social media, affiliate marketing through influencers and other freelancers, conferences, events, our website, and then also the freelancer invitations that we mentioned earlier. So where can you learn more about Handshake? So you can contact us at our Gmail, which is up and running right now, and you can also go to our website, which we are working on. And here's our team.
Come on up.
Yeah, you guys should come on up. And here's a cool code.
Yeah. You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Practice any art, no matter how low or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. So do it. So yeah, Handshake is hoping to empower freelancers to do what they love.
Questions? Yeah, so I'm curious about what response you got to 4%, because I really don't know how people would feel about that.
Yeah.
And then a follow-on to that is what would be the benefit to the business?
Okay, so
Or the, I'm sorry, the customer.
Oh,
The customer.
the client.
The client,
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
the
I got
client.
this one. Okay, so first of all, 4% is a ballpark estimate. A lot of risk assessment analytics that are already out there. I got a small network of really good risk assessment, so we could tune this price over time as our business grows, as we collect more data. So this could be definitely an evolving thing. 4% is more of like a ballpark of what we talked about. People might agree with.
And can I mention before you go to the other problem? So we did talk to a lot of 9 freelancers for over 30 minutes each, like Thomas mentioned, and every single one of them, non-prompted and independently stated that this was a problem for them. So we really feel like this is the root problem, and that
freelancers certainly can negotiate and demand like a smaller commission or something like that, but I'd say a lot of freelancers would be really happy to have a service. Yes. And for your other problem, what's the benefit to the client? Is we actually put a lot of thought into this, and that is actually the right to features on the infographic. So milestones and pay promotion. So milestones is a feature so that the freelancer documents and keeps track of the charges that it puts on the invoice. And so this both protects the freelancer with maybe less business experience, but also gives the company insurance that it's not paying too much for a service. And we can also have comparisons for similar services and how much they pay. And pay promotion is that when you do pay on time, you can get like, feature, you get, case studies, and other sorts of media things with having good karma points. Any other questions? Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm. Great.
What's the competitive landscape? Like who's close to this?
Okay, so there's one competitor that's really big in the freelancer space called Fiverr, and they do handle invoices, but they don't have payment insurance, and also they generally have like a really strict payment schedule where they have to find freelancers through their pipeline and connect through their pipeline, whereas all the freelancers we talked to said like they usually work with people that they network to that they know, not necessarily through the platform. And so this would work no matter where they come from and offer a lot of flexibility for how the payment scheduling is done.
And then, like I did mention, there are numerous project management applications and online websites, but nothing that we have found does make sure that the freelancer gets paid on time. The biggest competitor might be an experienced freelancer who can do this themselves, but like I said before, or like we all mentioned, this is a major pain point that everyone that we talked to did mention.
So we can.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol Martis.
I'm Dr. Arthur Martis.
MRI Solutions. At the forefront of the excellence, we are ready for the challenge ahead.
MRI is an imaging modality used to evaluate the internal components of the human body using the hydrogen proton molecule with manipulation via magnetic field. There's been a problem with MRI quality. First, I'm going to talk about there are advantages to MRI. The first, the major one is that there's no ionizing radiation used in X-rays and CT scans. But the disadvantages are that we have to make sure the patient is motionless, but there's sometimes internal artifacts, there are external artifacts. But one of the major concerns that we're talking about is that the appropriate examination has to be ordered for the desired results. There are multiple vendors out there. The major players are Siemens and GE, but there are other vendors such as Toshiba, Cigna, and Philips. These all are hard units in-house. There are also mobile unit companies out there, such as the Center for Diagnostic Imaging, that provides services throughout the state and the region. We propose at MRI Solutions that we can solve this problem in a few ways. First, we can provide an algorithm that correctly distinguishes the pulse sequences provided by the particular machine to correlate with the other machines, and that will help ensure that the provider asking a question gets that question answered. Number two, we can provide an algorithm that the studies that are incorrectly protocoled can be protocoled correctly. That ensures that the area that we're looking at is properly characterized. And number three, we can provide input from our system to ensure that the standards of excellence are obtained and maintained. Our team consists of body imaging trained radiologists, physicists, information technologists, MRI technologists, statisticians, and administrative personnel. We believe that the MRI Solutions will be providing a great service not only to the patient, but also to the local provider to get that question answered that they desire to have answered. We also believe that we'll be able to provide the service to the referral centers that have to overread these interpretations that are necessary for their provider, so they can provide the necessary information to give make more advanced decisions in definitive patient care. And finally, we believe that will be helpful to the United States government, because that's going to help ease the burden on unnecessary additional imaging that may increase costs to the patient as well as additionally to the taxpayers. Now, we will be providing on-site. We can provide either on-site versus remote installation. Our service contract, we usually have we will have a 1-year contract or a 3-year fixed. And if they renew, then we have a discount. The cost depends on factors such as the level of service needed, whether we're going to be working with a fixed unit or the mobile unit itself, or a combination of the two. We at MRI Solutions believe then there will be no problem with MRI quality. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Can you explain the technology a little bit? You were talking about an algorithm. So I've had an MRI, you sit in the thing and there's 2 people behind the window. Are you saying that this algorithm or technology would let them know if they were in the process of the image wasn't going to be clear, someone moved or something like that?
Well, when a person's getting an MRI at a local place, they're getting an MRI because the provider, one provider decides they want to study. They get the study done and they order the study. The radiologist reads the study, and then they make an interpretation. What if the radiologist wasn't body trained? That means he's a general radiologist who's ordering a study. He may not know the outcome because he's not studied up on what we're looking for at the end result, which is the university or one of the other major referral centers. That has to be the correct study. Otherwise, when it comes to the university center, that study is either put in the can and then it moved on to, let's do another study because we didn't like the way he did the study. It was not protocol correctly. So that's the avenue we're looking at.
I'm confused on the business model. Who are you selling to? You're selling to the hospital?
We're selling to anyone who wants to update their system, update their quality. Okay, we're trying to become better quality so that it won't be a burden on the patient, the system itself, and for the government because of healthcare costs that continue to rise. And if we are doing double examination, triple examinations. Sometimes some providers, they'll do the study. They don't care if the patient pays for it because when they come here, we want to get paid too. The university wants to get paid. If the university's not, they're going to say, well, I don't like the study. I'm going to repeat it. And they're going to send another bill to the insurance company.
So just for clarification, are you providing the actual equipment?
No, we will provide the software.
Okay, you're providing the software.
That will help update their systems to ensure that their quality control is increased.
So the hospital is ultimately your client?
Yes.
You have to convince to write you a check?
Yes.
Okay.
And will this software work with all these different pieces of
That's
equipment?
our plan.
Okay.
That's our plan.
What will it take to develop this algorithm? Have you started on this? Is it?
Well, like I said, this is provided by the physicists, the physicists and the technologists combining their information and statisticians.
Okay.
But you think there's an opportunity for this?
This is an untapped market.
Well, and so, who have you talked to about
I talked to the physicians on the end at the university. They're bombarded with cases like this all the time.
Meet Jerry. Jerry is one of hundreds of Eastern Iowa's dedicated local restaurant owners. We like Jerry's restaurant, and we like his food, and we'd like him to succeed. Jerry has a problem. He has too many time commitments. He needs to be marketing his product. he needs to do market research on his product, find out who wants it, and how much they want of it. But he's already committed so much of his time to other things. He needs to be doing staffing, he needs to be doing orders, menus, and sometimes literally putting out the fire. So what's his problem? He doesn't have the time, energy, or resources to be creating a customer loyalty program that can provide effective market research for him. Hi, I'm Kyle Mann, and we are Food Fight. We would like to provide restaurants with the opportunity to create a loyalty program for their users and an innovative marketing strategy. We hope to foster fan spirit for the users, competitiveness, and dynamic testing ideas for the restaurants. Here's an example. The restaurants will send us an image associated with a reward, like 10% off shawarma. And the users will come on, they'll fill out this poll, they'll give us their email address, and when the week is over and we've tallied up all the points and we find out who wins, then everybody who has signed up for this poll will get this 10% off shawarma. They can take this to the restaurant and essentially cash in. This kind of creates a cycle. Our users will go to the restaurants, and the restaurants can then have feedback from the users, and the restaurants can talk to their users pretty much. So what do we provide that others don't? Ease of use. We break down all the barriers. We want to make it as easy as possible for users to be able to get their rewards from their restaurants. Time commitment. We don't want the restaurants to have to put any more time than they already have allocated. So the users can easily get their rewards, and the restaurants can easily get their customer feedback and their products feedback. Our target market is the Iowa City area and the Coralville area. We estimate there are over 150 restaurants here, and we hope that we could get 30 plus by the end of this year. We've already talked to several past and present business owners, and there's positive feedback here, with several saying that they'd be open to trial. Our subscription is $40 a month, with 2 weeks of competition per month. So in this way, we're allowing the users to have different variety of restaurants. We promote competitiveness between the restaurants and their rewards and their dishes. And if we hit our target of 30, we end up at about $14,000 in revenue. Our conservative guess for costs would be about $7,000. And hopefully the profit then would then be about $5,000. With the resources and the interest gained from this weekend, we hope to be able to continue development and to essentially reach out to more restaurants, get more feedback, more market research, and make sure this is viable. This is our team: Sophia Goska, myself, and David Emte. We are Food Fight. We're feeding your food burger, one fight at a time. Thank you.
So talk to us about the customer validation we did. Talk to, what did you hear?
The customer validation is definitely the most difficult part of this for us. Because of the timing of the event, there was not on a Saturday night. Restaurant owners are already busy. We did reach out to contact we got through someone here, a man who works closely with many restaurant owners. And he asked us to be interested in looking at functioning for businesses.
And the price point is not an issue.
Yeah.
So it might be under. I also spoke to a food vendor and spoke to another person as well. But basically, they're looking to see if any gets the product.
And so, am I understanding right, it's that they would be competing for the best dish that got submitted? And talk a little bit about your users, like what would intrigue them or what would make them want to take the time to do this?
Well, I mean, it's about a 20-second process, and they essentially are getting free rewards for almost no effort. But the restaurant owners are kind of tying in their reward with their dish.
And so the reward would be
Like prize with something. It's like, it's like a coupon competition, essentially.
And this is not just out of the sky.
Oh, yeah, so I...
Existing sites that are hugely popular.
I don't know if you know Match.com, but they vote, they have the users vote on what product they'd like to provide, and then that product is then sold from their website. So it kind of ties into what we were already working on that way.
So then does the restaurant submit like their dish for the week, or is a customer nominated?
The restaurant would provide us with like an image of their dish, a description, and a reward that's tied to it.
It's basically a creative marketing channel for the restaurants. The competition part of it is only there to engage the user.
I would also say, like, I work with a lot of up-and-coming restaurants, like at New Flea Market or like farmers markets, where they're trying to figure out what is the right price or the right dish that people like, and that would be a really good result.
And this is so easy to update and maintain. It's like A/B testing. Every other week, potentially they could either the same or slightly tweak for a brand new item, and then test out the pricing as well as the offerings.
So it's like an email like that?
Yeah.
Do you have a target market?
So a lot of people have interest with students around here. They thought it would be really beneficial for
Let's get a drum roll. Maura. You guys get to split up, you get to do whatever you'd like with those planners. And from Locals Love Us, Iowa City, we have $250 in gift cards. So now for the other three teams, we have about $3,000 worth of prizes to hand out here. This is exciting. We're going to do third place first. So our third place team today, Agnew.
I don't know.
So each of our judges has picked a team to talk about. So,
We absolutely loved your idea, and I think we all think it's really necessary, and it's a wonderful idea. It was only just kind of like the logistics of it. How does that work? How do you get the word out? How do you utilize the communities there? And how, you're talking about Farmer in Nigeria and like the mothers in Ghana, but how can you talk about each of those local communities a little bit better to kind of help us just create the bridges between that? But we really hope you keep going because that was an awesome idea.
Don't go too far because once we've announced third, second, and first, then we'll have the first, second, and third teams pick their prizes from the group. So I'll have you guys take your seat again, and we're going to announce the second place. So all of these teams, it was a tough decision, and that's why it would take us so long. There was a lot of deliberation. So drum roll for second place. Handshake!
Congratulations. This was tough. We did a lot of deliberating. But all six had some really interesting qualities. It's hard to go from zero to full business model in a few days. And so we could see the potential in a lot of these, but we had to pick our top three. And so we thought this model, you guys, obviously you did the customer discovery to understand where the pressure points are, and you came up with a very valid solution. We had some thoughts. There'll be some things you'll learn along the way. Is 4% right? Is that enough? Some questions around maybe the escrow and some of that. But by and large, we think you found a problem that needs solving, and have come up with a great way to start moving down that. So we're really, really excited. So congratulations. Great job.
Don't run away with the prizes in just a second. After we ask first place, drum roll.
So as has been said, it was tough. We were in there working, talking, but we agreed that we felt that your idea, your application, the way that you presented it, really warranted first place. And we all had ideas, different ways that we could see it working and different experiences. So we do hope that you consider continuing on with it. So we see the problem, we see the opportunity, and we think that you put together some ideas on how you could maybe solve that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so congratulations.